Hello friends, how are you doing out there? I welcome you to my channel Result Graphics and Multimedia. In today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you how you can make creative vertical business card in Adobe Photoshop CC 2017. If you are watching my video for the first time on YouTube, please remember to subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos. So let's get the tutorial started. Welcome back friends. So the first thing you need to do in this tutorial is to make a new document. All you have to do is to come to this side and type your design name. So vertical business card. Right? So the next step you have to take is to come to the width. So the width size is going to be 3.25. Then the height is going to be 1.75. Then your resolution should be 300. Then your color, you need to click on this place and select CMYK. So once you are done with your setting, all you have to do is to click on create. So the next thing we have to do now is to grab our ruler, both vertical and then horizontal. And the next thing you have to do is to go to your menu bar, then click on image, then select canvas size. So at this point here, come to the width, type 0.25. Then the height also should be 0.25. And once you are done, then you click on OK. So at this point now, the next thing you have to do is to grab your ruler also, both vertical and then horizontal. Next, you go back to image, canvas size. Then at this point now, you can see we have our width to be 3.5 by 2 inches, which is the standard size for the business card. But now we need to add a bleed area of 0.25 by 0.25. Then you click on OK. Good. So at this point now, we need to convert this page into a vertical. All you have to do is to go back to your image, then go to rotation, select counterclockwise. So at this point now, this is exactly what you are going to get as far as vertical business card layout is concerned. So the next thing we have to do is to start our design. So the next thing we have to do is to go to our toolbar and select rectangle tool. So having selected your rectangle tools, then change the color from the menu bar, change it to black. So at this point now, the next thing you have to do is to come to your Photoshop artboard and draw a rectangle. Good. So the next thing you have to do now is to come down below here and make a new layer. Having created a new layer, then go back to your rectangle shape, select rectangle. Then the next thing you have to do, you can as well change the color. From this point here, you can change the color. Then draw another rectangle. Next, you have to come down here also and make a new layer. So having made a new layer, go back to your rectangle and create a new rectangle. At this point now, the new rectangle, you come here and change the color to white. Then come down here and draw a new rectangle. Then from the rectangle property here, type 20%, 20 pixels, then you press on enter. So if you are satisfied with the corner of the shape, then you are good to go. If you are not satisfied, continue to increase the number. So I'm going to type 50 and press enter. So I'm good with the angle of I'm good with the corner of my rectangle. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to come to the black layer, then right click on it, select blending option. So having select blending option, the next thing I'm going to do is to come down here and select pattern overlay. So at this point here, this is where you set your pattern. So I have to change my pattern setting to something like this. Then the opacity, I'm going to set it to be 11. Then the scale also, I'm going to set it to be 11. Then once you are done, then you click on OK. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to apply color fill to this particular layer. All you have to do is to click on this layer, right click on it, then select blending option. So at this point now, the next thing you have to do is to select gradient overlay. So having select gradient overlay, you're going to have something like this. Then select gradient color picker. So having get to this point here, the next thing you have to do is to select your gradient palette, gradient color. So in this case now, I'm going to use this particular gradient. Now, the color code for this angle, it's something like this. Okay. Then the color code for this angle is something like this. So once you are done with the color setting, then you click on OK, OK, and OK. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add graphics stock. Good. I'm going to press Ctrl A on my keyboard. Then from my menu bar here, vertical alignment center and horizontal alignment center, and Ctrl D to deselect. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to work on this layer. What I'm going to do next is to go to Edit, then select my free transform. Then I'm going to expand this shape. And you click on this check mark to accept. So at this point now, the next thing you have to do is to go back to your shape tools and select rectangle. Having select rectangle, come down below here and make a new layer. So having make a new layer, the next thing you have to do is to draw another rectangle. Ctrl Z. So from the shape property, I need to type some figure here. Let me try 20%, enter. %, okay. Ctrl T to open the transform tools. Then so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this shape into 3 places. All you have to do is to press Alt key on your keyboard and drag to duplicate. Good. So the next thing I'm going to do is to make another shape. And all you have to do is to go to your shape tools, right click on it and select ellipse. So at this point now, I'm going to draw another ellipse shape. So I'm going to come down here and make a new layer. So having make a new layer, then I'll change the color to sky blue. You click on OK. So I will now drag and draw my shape. So the next thing I'm going to do is to centralize the shape. Ctrl T to open the transform tools, Shift key and an alternative key to drag. You click on this check mark to accept it. So at this point now, I need to press down the Control key on my keyboard and select rectangle. Then go to my menu bar, select vertical alignment center and horizontal alignment center. Good. So at this point now, this is where I'll place the image of the design. So the next thing I'm going to do is to take my picture to the design layer. Next, all you have to do is to go to the picture layer, right click on it and select create clipping mask. Good. So I have my picture perfectly placed in the circle. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to continue with my shape style. So at this point now, the next thing to do is to locate this particular layer. Then the next step you have to go is to go to your tools bar, select your pen tools. So having select your pen tools, then shape. You press down the shift key and select the first layer. Then you go to your menu bar, click on edit, then free transform. So at this point now, I'm going to resize the shape. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is to go down below here and make a new layer. So having made a new layer, you press Ctrl plus to zoom out the entire document. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to go to my tools bar and select my pen tools. So having select my pen tools, then I will make a curve. Good. So at this point now, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this shape. Oh, Ctrl Z. I'm going to duplicate this. And drag it down here. Then you press Ctrl T on your keyboard, right click, flip horizontal, then right click again, flip vertical. Right click, flip horizontal. Good. So once you are done, then you click on this check mark. And you have to duplicate the shape to the rest of the. And press Ctrl J to group it, then Ctrl J to duplicate. So you can use your arrow key to move it down a little bit. So now the next thing to do now is to type to the logo, to the business card. So all you have to do is to go to your text tools, select your text tools, then from the text tool property, come here and type your font size, font style. So I'm going to use Roboto. So in this case now, I'm using Roboto Black. Then my font size is going to be 12. So once you are done with your setting, then I'm going to change the color by clicking on this thumbnail and select my new color. And you click on OK.